Hi everyone, it's Karen here. So yesterday we spoke about the pentacles. Now the next in line is the cups. Now traditionally cups are about emotions, relationships, but to me the cups are about our vessel and how strong and resilient we are within our own vessel. As you can see, we've got the Dove of Peace coming through with a wafer coming into the cup, bringing peace, hope. The hand of the Creator, God, universe, however you like to describe it, is giving us a new cup. And it's like offering us a clearer version of ourselves. You know, as we've been working through clearing a lot of our past, clearing a lot of stuff that we don't need, clearing generational trauma, childhood hurts. It's like saying, well, okay, now you've graduated. Here's a higher version of yourself. And I just want to read what I've written down about the cups from my manual. Traditionally, the suit of cups is known as the suit of emotions, representing the giving and receiving of love in the many aspects of our life. At an esoteric level, cups relate to who we are and the innate aspects of ourselves. The cups are holding substances or waiting to be filled with ingredients relative to who we are. We are the only ones that can fill our cup. No one else can fill our cup. Only we can fill our cup. The Ace of Cups appearing from the cloud can be represented as a vision of our future selves or who we were determined to be before life got in the way. The hand offers a glimpse of who we may become. A vessel full of peace, love, and organically flowing with the natural resonance of life. Are we willing to take the steps necessary to embody that version of ourselves? Now, going through the suit of cups, it can tell us a lot about ourselves. It does go through the emotions, some of the emotions that we go through. The Two of Cups, which I'm going to go on to now, you can see that traditionally this is called the relationship card, the partnership card, not necessarily romantic, partnerships, but it can also go into the romance of things. But each person has a cup, and it's almost like saying, well, what do you have in your cup that I need, that would be good for me? Because sometimes we go into relationships without knowing what's in that person's cup. And sometimes it's just all, traumas can come out and create a lot of problems and issues. If we sort of work on, my cat's crying at the door, he wants to go out, but it's getting dark and it's time to go to bed for him. He doesn't really like it, but if I'm in bed, then he goes. Sorry, going back to the Two of Cups. Hopefully he doesn't bite my feet. Sometimes we connect with people, and it's a matter of wondering, knowing what's in their cup. Sometimes a lot of traumas come up in relationships, unhealed trauma comes up, and that creates an imbalance in the relationship. And it's hard sometimes when you're sort of really wanting a relationship and, the other person's got a lot of trauma there that you didn't see beforehand. But then you got to wonder, well, what magnetized me to you in the first place? Was it our trauma? Is this something that, we're playing out that we need to deal with? But if we can sort of get on the back foot a little bit and just say, well, okay, let's start clearing what we have within, some of the traumas out, some of the fears out, some of the self-doubt out, some of the self-esteem issues. If we can start clearing some of that out, then we can magnetize someone who doesn't have those things either. someone who's well grounded, well balanced. And a lot of the time that's what we're looking for. Someone who's sturdy, someone who's well balanced, someone who's well, you know, very grounded in their own selves, someone who's authentic. So this is another reason why I put the course together. That was, we can sort of, you know, go through and just clear stuff out, become a natural magnetizer for the highest version person, you know, that you want to meet. Someone who's authentic, someone mature, someone well-grounded, you know. So it's taking a look at the people around us as well and saying, well, why, you know, how come you're in my life? You know, if things, not to say that, you know, we're mistrusting everyone around us. That, I'm not saying that at all. But it's giving you a good insight into the different reasons, you know, why people are around. You know, why am I in some people's lives? You know, what is it in me that is, you know, draws me to these people, or and vice versa, you know, draws them to me? What is it? It's a way of, you know, claiming your authenticity and your sovereignty as well. So that's another reason why I created the course. Now, the Three of Cups is our past, present, and future. Basically, they're coming together and saying, well, okay, now she started to clear up the past so that she can deal with the present and create a wonderful future. So they're happy. It's kind of like, thank goodness, you know, something's being done. We can now all come together and decide which is the best way forward. What needs to be cleared first? What does she need to deal with in the present? And what is her future going to look like once that's all cleared away? So then we have the Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups is, you can see the hand again offering a new version of yourself. You know, there's a person sitting there, he's meditating against a tree. There's the Three Cups in the front. Now remember, going back to the Three of Cups, it's kind of like the past, present and future there, or three different choices that were made. And now a new choice is coming in. Okay, how about you put this characteristic on? So there's a thought there of, well, it didn't work before, so why should it work now? That's kind of like reflecting on, you know, why this new personality is coming towards me. So as I said, the cup is our vessel, ourselves. And as we go through the evolution and transformation process, we change, we evolve, you know. Our taste buds change. We don't like the same foods we used to like. We don't like the same things we used to like. We're starting to evolve. We're starting to transform into a higher version of ourselves, to allow our intuition to come through and to have a clearer view of who we are and what we're doing in our life, instead of allowing life to sort of, you know, drag you by the neck around here, there and everywhere. You can now make that choice because you're fairly solid within yourself. So the hand is coming through. So he's contemplating, well, it didn't work before. Why is it going to work now? So it's, again, it's a choice that needs to be made. The Five of Cups deals with grief. Again, we've got the Three Cups on the ground. So the past, present and future, where, you know, it looks pretty shabby. You know, there's the past is pretty crap. The present is kind of non-existent and the future is just well and truly gone. So we're mourning the loss of what was without turning around and seeing the Two of Cups here. So going back to the Two of Cups, where it's kind of like a mirror, you know, you'll see how people mirror you. You'll see how people, you know, you mirror people, and you'll understand why the dynamics of relationships a lot better. But still, this is a process. So with this Five of Cups, you know, mourning the loss of the past, grieving, you know, what was, what could have been, what might have been, what was there, what wasn't there. It takes time. So you do go through the grieving process when you go through transformative changes, because parts of you are, you've let them go. You've evolved into a higher version of yourself. And these changes do take a bit of a toll. So you allow the process to take shape. And then you turn around and see the Two of Cups there and know that there's going to be someone there to support you through that grief. And as we're going through the transformative grieving process, we reflect back on our past to times where it was a lot easier, you know. It's kind of like the giving and receiving of life where, you know, there was no expectations. You could give someone something without expecting an expectation being there in return. Everything was, you know, childlike. You can see the two kids there, you know, one giving the traditional, you know, flowers, passing things on to the younger child. So we go back into, it's not sort of regressing, but it's reflecting on earlier times when times were easy. They weren't as sort of, a bit, not confusing, but, oh, how can I put it? It's not as, when you go through transformations, it can be quite daunting because it's, you know, yes, a part of yourself is sort of splitting away in some ways. And it's like, you know, it never used to be like this before, but now all these energies are coming through and we're starting to awaken a little bit by, you know, a little bit more. We need to understand, you know, how the energies work and how these processes work. And that helps. It helps a lot. Once you sort of understand the energy and the process of transformation and the evolution that's coming through and the awakening, that helps. That helps you. It helps ground you. It helps you to embody what's coming through as well without it being quite a shock. Because it can be quite a shock to the system and the body as you're going through these processes. Then we have the Seven of Cups coming along. So you have more choices. And it's like, what am I going to choose? So the Seven Cups here are basically 7 characteristics of a personality. What personality do I want? You know, we've got a Tower here, which relates to the Tower card in the tarot. Now, the Tower to me is enlightenment. When the Tower comes down, it's like the universe comes in and basically slaps you at the back of the head if you're really not listening. And they're the times when you think, oh, geez, what's happened? Why? What have I done to deserve this? Because we need to listen to what the universe is talking about through the signs, synchronicities and symbols. We have a wreath with a skull there. So again, that's a transformation. We have the Empress up here, which is about fertility and abundance. We have the Magician here, which the Magician is about manifesting. So it's a lot of different choices that you have that you can sort of bring, the different energies that you can bring into your life to enhance your life. So after going through, you know, trying to work out what you need to embody to sort of enhance your life a little bit more, you go on a journey. See how there's 8 cups there and there's one in the middle, there's one missing. Sort of go on a bit of a soul's journey again. And again, we've got the an eclipse up there. An eclipse, and we've got Crumpet's tail here. He's Crumpet up here. He's ready to go to bed. Hello. Hello, hello. What are you doing? Hey? So going on a soul's journey, you're basically finding out what's hidden, because an eclipse, basically, you know, if it's a solar eclipse, the moon comes in front of the sun, so it's hiding the sun. If it's a lunar eclipse, it's the same thing. The sort of the sun comes, I think, don't quote me because I'm getting distracted from crumpet. But it's about finding what's hidden, because we know that we're on a bit of a journey. So we start to go hunting. We start to go looking for different parts of ourselves that were possibly missed in childhood, young adulthood. With people, we go to get our energy back. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. No, I don't want a new page on here. Sorry, I've just got to shut this down, otherwise he'll create new pages and things. Sorry, this is taking a bit longer than normal. So, but we go on a journey to find parts of ourselves that we lost in the past. You know, there could be still parts left with an old flame somewhere. There could be some old parts left in childhood somewhere, an old childhood house, a school, a best friend. And we go on that journey to find those bits, because we know those little bits have keys in them. And they're the keys that we need to unlock our happiness and our authenticness, you know, the authenticity, I can't say it, forget it. No, I'll have to think about it, and I'll jump on and I'll just say the word. Become more authentic. But that's not really what I wanted to say, but that's okay. So yes, so we go on an internal journey again to find our missing pieces and parts. We get to a point where you find them, you know, we realise, you know, we won, you know, the sports cup in the sports, you know, we did cross country, we probably had tennis tournaments, we might have won a spelling bee, we might have got a couple of diplomas or degrees. These are our achievements. We might have, you know, finished a course or become a nurse or something. But these are our achievements after going on our journey and finding ourselves. We've got the 9 of Cups. So these are our achievements up here. We're sitting pretty smug down there, pretty satisfied. Not smug, but pretty satisfied. It's like, well, you know, have a look at what I've done. I've done quite a bit, you know, in getting myself back together again, finding my missing parts so that I can become whole and unique and authentic. And then we have the 10 of Cups, which is all my dreams are now coming true. I've gone on the journey, you know, an inner journey to look at my inner landscape. And this was always what I wanted in my inner landscape. We've got the rainbow up here, which has always been God's promise. As I said, you know, God, creator, universe, whatever you like to call it. But after the flood, after Noah's flood, God put a big rainbow in the sky. He said, my promise to you that I won't do this again is put a big rainbow up there. So again, this card is a promise that if you sort of go through this journey, I'm going to promise you that you're going to get everything that you've wanted. Your internal picture of happiness that you've been working towards is there. It's yours. It's for you. So that's the journey from the Ace to the 10 of Cups. As I said, I've done a workbook, and in the workbook there's different there's spreads for every card. There's meditation, there's journaling, meditation for swimming in a giant lake with the cups, reflective moments for journaling, working with the masculine, feminine energies within you, what else? Some, again, questions, reflective journaling, just creating vision boards. It's getting into, you know, who you are, basically, to pull parts of yourself out to become authentic. So now we go to the court cards. Again, we've got the Page of Cups. Now, the water, cups has to deal with water. And this is intuition. So this also helps, you know, bring up intuition. Now, I don't do it. You do the work. You know, you do it because it comes from you. I mean, everyone is psychic in some way or another. So what this does is help sort of clear out the old stuff and bring up your natural gifts. It brings up your natural guidance system so that you can, you know, walk towards your North Star, whatever it is. So I'm just the guide. That's all I am. This is like a personal journey for yourself. So going for the Page of Cups is a beginner. Pages are beginners. They're like young children. So the fish in his cup is looking at the fish. Now, it's almost like he's talking to his intuition. And he knows it's there. You can see the water in the background. So he's sort of diving into his consciousness as well. His intuition, his consciousness. Trying to understand this new energy that's coming up. Then we have the Knight of Cups. He sort of seems like he's got things sorted out. He's still very protected. So he's got this new energy here and he wants to bring it out into the town and show everyone. You know, he's still got his suit of armour on and he's not in a rush. The horse is just taking its time slowly, getting to where he needs to be. And then we have the, again, the masculine and feminine aspects of who we are. The King and Queen of Cups. The Queen is very intuitive, and so is the King. The King is very stoic. He keeps things to himself. So with the King, I read something quite interesting today about the King. He's basically floating on the water, even though it looks like concrete slab, which would be pretty heavy, it'd sink. But in the book it said he's floating on the water and there's a ship in the background. So he's got the chance to either go into someone else's ideas, into someone else's vision, or he can still keep creating his own because he can dive into his own water. And the same with the Queen. She's keeping hold of the cup with the lid on the cup. She's taking a look into her inner self, in a landscape, and she knows what's in there. She's very intuitive, and the feminine side is what's the receiver, the receptor, the receiver of the intuition, and the masculine side is the action. So these are the energies that we want to embody in our lives as well. So once you sort of go through, you can sort of get the energies of the cards, where you're basically living the energies, and that helps create a more rounded, embodied person. That's what I feel anyway, because I was, as I said, went on my healing, started on my healing journey. I learned tarot again, and the course came channeling down through me. So I do feel that this information that's coming out now is very much needed in the world today, considering what's going on. So if you would like to take a look at a preview of a workbook, it's on my website, or it's on my school platform, which I'll put the details in the description box. And I hope you've enjoyed the cups. I hope you've enjoyed the swords and the pentacles as well. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Just ask me any questions. I hope you like and subscribe. And if you like me to present anything else, I'm more than happy to do that. Tomorrow we'll be working on going on to the wands. So the wands are about inspiration, and as you will work them all together, you will find basically you open up a lot more. You become more. You get more inspiration, you become more inspirational, you become more knowledgeable about energy. It's all about energy, the energy that we work with, because we are energetic beings, and understanding the energy that is around us and understanding how it works, that gives us more of a healthy balance. It keeps us healthy. When our energy is clear and clean, we are healthy in the same way. So thank you for listening. I hope you have a great week, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.